So welcome to today's meeting, aptly themed. This is our first meeting in April 2023, and it is themed digital wellness. And there's a quote by Pirillo that says, passwords are like underwear. Don't let people see it. Change it very often, and you shouldn't share with strangers. What are the habits you show or the behaviors you have in this digital world we have today? Would first start, as always, in every Toastmasters meeting by beginning with our Toastmasters promise. So you do not need to unmute your mic to read along. You can just stay muted while reading. I would read. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmaster membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, and to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters meetings and activities. In addition, I would be reading the Pecten mission statement, which is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. Thank you, and I would now like to call on the virtual lectern, our President Toastmaster, Tari Adebisi, for her opening remarks. Over to you, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I see a few names I don't know, so I assume that they are guests or maybe Toastmasters from other clubs. How is everyone doing? I'm only staring at S's face and Namdi's picture. The rest of us have blank screens. Toastmaster Ijeoma, Toastmaster Victory, and DTM Rashida. Oh, good. So good evening, everyone. I see you now, DTM. Good evening, everyone. Welcome again to another Toastmasters meeting. I really wonder what went wrong, what is happening. Why do we have only 6 people on the call? I'm just wondering. Unlike our almost 30 last 2 weeks. Well, I believe people are going to come in as we go along. Hello, Toastmaster Ijeoma. I see your face now. Good. Thank you for putting on your camera. So it's going to be another meeting today. We have, as usual, table topics to go through and planned speeches. I don't see the speakers for the manual speeches on the call. Toastmaster, I say you may want to reach
Yes,
them.
Toastmaster Ijeoma, she's just trying to join, and Toastmaster Ojei, I'm connecting with him.
Okay, all right. So they should be on the call too at the beginning of the meeting so that they are also, at ease by the time it gets to their turn to speak. So digital wellness is our theme for today, our theme for this meeting, digital wellness. Initially, when I saw the term digital wellness, I was wondering, we know about wellness, generally speaking about our health, but which one is digital wellness again, as Nigerians will say, which one is that? But I got to understand that digital wellness was just striking a balance in the use of technology. So it is pursuing an intentional and a healthy relationship with technology. A few days ago, I was doing some research about something, and I was amazed at how easy it was to just click a button and get information about that particular thing you're researching on. We have so much e-resources at our disposal these days that I began to wonder, 20, 30 years ago, when we didn't have the internet, how were people able to do research? The books we read, how were people able to research, to put together information to bring about those books? Journals, articles being published in journals, how did they get the information they needed? Can you imagine the distance they would have to travel from one place to the other, visiting various libraries, or doing various interviews, asking questions to different groups of people just to bring out an article to be published in a journal? I'm sure it must have been a tedious time. And so technology has come now, and it's so easy to just sit in your room, Some people even sit in their room and cook up articles. I mean, I've done no research, but they just out of their head and just put down words and decide to publish as facts. But it's so easy to get information. That's the point I'm trying to make these days. But then again, you agree with me, as we used to say when we were younger, as you know, my head mistress used to say in school, too much of everything is bad. So it's too much of technology bad as well. Yes, we have the pros, but do we also have the cons? And the two extremes, I mean, is there any benefit to being at either extreme of using digital, whatever, anything digital at all? So these are the discussions we'll have today. And interestingly, I know that two of the speakers for today are actually going to be doing some digital things for us, you know, while they give their speeches to support or to boost their speeches. So it should be an interesting meeting. I hope everyone is prepared to contribute in one way or the other. If you are called on for the table topics, please oblige us, unmute and speak. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's the reason why we're all here. Toastmasters International wouldn't exist if we're all very great speakers. You know, we come here to learn. We speak, we get corrected via evaluations. We incorporate those corrections into our next speech, and then we do better the next time. Essentially, that is it. The way I speak today wasn't the way I was speaking 2 years ago when I joined Toastmasters International. There has been some addition, some progress, and it should be continuous progress. So I implore you to please participate in today's meeting when you are called upon. I will be handing back over to the Toastmaster of the day, who would introduce her role players, including the general evaluator. And when it's time for me to come up again at some point, I will do that. Back to you, Toastmaster Ese. Virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tari, and hello, everyone. Okay. I am Toastmaster Ese, and I would be serving in a triple capacity as the TMOD and GE. First off, I would start by introducing the context of the Toastmaster of the day. So my role today is basically to guide everyone through the meeting. A Toastmaster meeting is segmented into 3 phases. We have the first, which is usually the table topic session. This is where we have everyone, preferably guests and also Toastmasters. They come on the call, they pick a topic of their preference, or rather a number, and then they are given a topic and they have to speak for 2 minutes on that topic. You do not need to be shy. Once you reach the 1 minute mark, your speech is actually qualified. So we would really encourage everyone to participate in this session. In addition, our next phase would now be the manual speeches. This is where we have Toastmasters who have worked on speeches as part of their pathways, and they come and present it to us. They would be given feedback, because in Toastmasters, we believe that feedback is a meal for champions, and that forms the main part of our evaluation session, where we will receive feedback from the prepared speeches, from the evaluation session, and from all the role players that participate in today's meeting. So I'm very delighted to have everyone join us. Digital wellness, as someone who probably spent too much time on the internet, at least according to my data subscriptions, I am trying avidly to practice digital wellness. I see DT and Rashida laughing, so maybe she's also like me on that digital wellness journey. I know Toastmaster Joy is not on any digital wellness journey. She's just in the digital world forever. She might deny it. But as the Toastmaster of the day, I would not be playing my role alone. I would also now like to call on Toastmaster Joy to introduce her role. Over to you, Toastmaster Joy. Toastmaster Joy, please confirm you can hear us. Okay, it seems she has...
Yeah, I think she's dropped off again. Network issues, probably.
Okay, well, I would just immediately introduce her role. I know she's serving in 2 facets. The first is to serve as the grammarian. Her role as a grammarian is to listen for both proper and improper usage of phrases, and also check outstanding usages. In addition, she'll be listening for how well we use the word of the day. The word of the day today is exponential, and as an adjective, it means rising or expanding at a steady, rapid rate. Using an example, number one, Nigeria was experiencing exponential growth. Another example, using artificial intelligence catapults us into a new age of exponential progress. Common synonyms are expanding, rampant, promoting, growing. We hope that we and encourage many members on this call to use this word of the day. The word of the day, exponential, is something that I like to believe I'm seeing in my life. When you join Toastmasters, your communication skills would go through an exponential growth. Toastmaster Joy needs to come back on this call so she can note my usage of the word of the day. Thank you. For as it pertains to timing, the timing will be shared via the chat box. So, oh wow, well, you see, this is why when the grammarian gets corrected, I love it. Thank you so much, DTM Rashida. She has actually pointed out that even if the word we pronounced it correctly, there's an N missing. So we would update that in our agenda. And I even didn't know, so I've already learned a new word. Thank you so much. So the correct pronounce or spelling for exponential, there's two N's. Please don't use our spelling, but yes, please use our words. Thank you for that feedback, DTM Rashida. We appreciate. We would now immediately, just to confirm, Toastmaster Joy, are you on the call? Okay.
She's not yet on the call.
Yes, because she's playing like two major roles. So I don't know, what would you suggest, Toastmaster Tari? Should we just continue? Because we already have our second speaker is already driving back to set up.
Okay,
What would you
so
suggest?
you can introduce, can you do the introduction of the rules? Because I think that would just be it. So they don't need to
Yes.
speak.
So I have done for grammarian. As it pertains to our counter, is just listening for the M's, the filler words we use. While timing will be shared via the chat box using words, for example, green has been reflected now on the chat box, and that means your speech is qualified. In addition, when you see yellow, that means you should already start planning to round up your speech. And then when you see red, that means you have 30 seconds to officially round up your speech. So that is how timing will be managed throughout this session. And I think we can immediately move to the next phase of today's meeting.
Hello, Toastmaster Essay. Okay, I guess network is dealing with everybody today. She's gone off the call. Connecting. Okay.
Sorry, I just realized everyone lost me.
Yes, we weren't
Please,
sharing.
where did you stop hearing me?
You wanted to introduce, go to the next segment of the meeting.
Oh, okay. Sorry, apologies for the error. I would now be calling on DTM Rachidat. Ma, please go ahead with the table topics session.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, the charm, my main lady, Toastmaster Eseoghene Okereka. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and friends, and it would appear that we do not have any guest on the call, and that makes it even more interesting. Or do we have a guest?
Yes, we have two guests on the call.
Oh, who and who? Ojei?
Ojei and Ijeoma.
Ijeoma, oh, lovely, brilliant, brilliant. In fact, it's now coming out the way that I want to. Well, for the benefit of Ojei and Ijeoma, if you would remember, because I think Ijeoma, I've met Ijeoma on this call before, I think so, I'm not sure. But if you are not familiar with what Table Topics does, that is our own way of improving on our ability to speak off the cuff. And by that, I mean practicing to be able to speak when you are not prepared to speak. Some of the times you get the opportunity to prepare to speak, but some other times, and which is often more rampant than when you are prepared, that is the one you do when you are not prepared to speak. So we learn how to speak extemporaneously, organize our thoughts, and then confidently put them forward. And that is the whole essence of the table topic session. So the way it will go is that I'll call on anyone that I like, It usually happens that the table topic speaker has the authority kind of to call on anyone she feels like calling, and usually the prettiest or the most handsome in the room. And the way it goes is you have 2 minutes to talk on any topic. And once it is 1 minute and 30 seconds, you get, the first minute that you have spoken, you'll be flagged the green card, or your attention will be drawn to the fact that you have spent half of the time allotted to you. 1 minute, 30 seconds, you also get a notification. 2 minutes means you have exhausted the time allocated to that speaking slot given to you, and you have 30 seconds of grace to round off. So that is the way we're going to roll this afternoon. And because we are 8 in the room, we are going to do it the way they do it in Vegas, meaning whatever we do here, we'll get to stay here with us. So just feel free and talk about whatever comes to your mind, as long as you exhaust the whole of the 2 minutes that you are given to speak. So are we ready? Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
are
we are.
we ready?
Yes, we are.
Oh, beautiful. And with that, I have Toastmaster Samuel Adu coming on screen. Perhaps he is going to show us the way this afternoon. Toastmaster Samuel Adu, am I right? You probably want to demonstrate to us how we're going to roll this afternoon. And you are going to demonstrate how much of an exponential growth you have witnessed and experienced in Toastmasters. So you are going to take my first question, right?
I concur, Chair Rashidat.
Thank you so much.
I just joined less than 1 minute. Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's the way it is. That's what
Yeah.
stands you out as a Toastmaster.
Yeah.
So Toastmaster Samuel, you want to tell us about one gadget you regret having and why? One gadget you regret having and why?
Wow, that's a question that drove me off guard. One gadget that I had, but I regret having. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a jolly afternoon to everyone. Yes, when I look at this gadget, what is that gadget? In the early days when I gained admission into the university, and I was looking at what can gladden my heart to concentrate and focus on my study. I met a friend who told me that, Samuel, let's go and get a PlayStation. I asked, how will this make me better? I remember my parents fought me when I started using PlayStation. They saw it as a distraction. Unfortunately, I didn't remember the advice of my parents. I bought a PlayStation in my 100th level. First semester, I couldn't perform very well. I had like 2 carryover. Second semester, when I check my result, I know that things have gone wrong. But before you know it, my first year in the university was a great mess. And I realized that I bought a gadget that is not adding value to me. Till today, if I remember that action, that singular action, I'm not happy about myself. Over to you, Madam Topic Master.
Wow. Apparently, you are a Toastmaster. You started well, and you have shown us the way. Well done, Toastmaster Samuel Adu. I'm so happy that you were able to resonate with that. We are moving swiftly to the second topic, and I want to do some kind of mini more. And more is on Ojei victory. Could we please give him a round of applause? I can't see Ojei, so I really don't know whether Ojei is a man or a woman, but I'd like to see the face. I wouldn't mind seeing the face.
Victory is a man. As you can see my face.
I knew it. I knew it. I told you that Table Topics is reserved for handsome looking men and beautiful looking ladies. And I'm not wrong. Ojei, thank you so much. And this topic today, especially for you, is do you support the idea of remote schooling for secondary education? Do you support the idea of remote schooling for secondary education?
Okay, I would say I do support the idea of remote schooling for secondary education because as we all know, please you pardon me because I stutter a bit, so you pardon my speech. So as we all know that during the pandemic COVID-19, we're aware that there was lockdown for certain periods and overseas. Schooling, the pattern of schooling did shift towards the distance learning pattern in which they were basically remote schooling. Lectures and teachings were done online. So in that particular aspect, of course, where there was no choice, where you had to embark on remote schooling. So of course I will support because those particular periods we gathered that students students per se were able to learn. Then also I support because the fact that one pandemic period you had no other option. That's the best way that you could continue learning. And secondly, it will reduce the it will reduce the issue of logistics. My situation where you don't have to rush out and take your kids to school by 8 and you have to rush and bring them back home. They are told with you if just you have a parent to supervise to ensure that workers are gone remotely, they can pay attention, and that it can also be a plus. Then also it can be used. Schooling can be done when you have because let's just okay, teaching can go on when you have less teachers to impart knowledge. So you have a particular teacher can read large amount of students because it's done remotely. Thank you.
Wow. I hope you've not been checking in on my notes because you answered so brilliantly. I would have thought you saw something I had written down. Thank you so much, aspiring Toastmaster Ojei Victory. And then I'll take a third speaker. A third speaker takes me to, of course, Ijeoma. Yes, I have to honor her. She was one of the earliest on the call today. Aspiring Toastmaster Ijeoma, are you there? would you like to give me the benefit of your face?
I'm Ijeoma. I'm your Toastmaster.
I can't see your face. Oops.
Sorry, my network is.
Okay. I'll start without your face and I'll be hopeful.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
I knew it. I just knew it.
Good afternoon,
Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you, Paul, and to also attend to this throbbing question, which will give us a little bit of exponential understanding of digital wellness. If you could, Ijeoma, if you could improve anything about smartphones, what would it be? If you could.
Anything.
Yes, if you could improve anything about smartphones, what would it be?
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Rashidat, for this question. This is my first time here, so okay. If I could improve anything about smartphone, what would it be? I think it will be the battery life, first of all. If I could improve anything, the number of times I have to charge my phone, especially for iPhone, I would say that would be one thing I would like to improve when it comes to smartphone for me. So thank you.
Wow, we have the whole of 2 minutes.
I'm still thinking I want to respond.
You know that kind of question that it tends to be a yes or no question, but it is intended to make you
say a lot
and drag it so that you can do your 2 to 3 minutes, 1 to 2 minutes really. You want to say something else?
No, I'm okay with this.
Battery life. Okay, so why battery life? You don't think you can flesh up that? Why? Is there something that happened to you? Has it ever embarrassed you? That
for battery, why I say battery life is because personally I use my phone for a lot of things. I use my phone to connect to my hotspot to work sometimes. So sometimes the battery can just go off, mess you up. So I say if I could I think for smartphone to be the battery life.
Okay. We are getting somewhere, apparently. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ijeoma. Oh, aspiring Toastmaster, and I know that so many people will be sharing that same thought and wish with you. I still have one more question.
Volunteer?
Sorry, is my time?
Am I allowed to volunteer?
Oh, sure, certainly. That's what I should have asked. But I think I was carried away by the beautiful faces I was trying to look for. Okay, so Toastmaster Nnamdi, is it?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. That tells me that we are about to have a supersonic exponential growth in our table topics wellness this afternoon. So
I wish so.
I'd like you to tell us about an instance when technology truly contributed to your well-being. Yeah.
Okay. So I've so much loved technology. As a matter of fact, one of my desires is to invest in fintech, right? Because I hear that in the technology space, the money comes like blood money. Once the money begins to flow in, it looks as if you have done a ritual somewhere with someone's head, right? So I've always loved technology, and I try to adopt to the new technologies that come on board. If not, I'll be left behind, and I don't want to be left behind. I always want to be in front. Yeah. So basically, in recent times, I think I was a bit disconnected with what was happening around me and around the technology space until I stumbled into a conversation on WhatsApp about ChatGPT, right? I started doing a bit of research about it and tried to test my hands on it, and it came out nice. The cheat for it was when you ask it one question the first time, ask that same question 3 times and get 3 different opinions so that you can then juxtapose them and come up with what you want to do or get the desired results. So I was going to involve in a competition for climate change to write a proposal about what we can do to improve resiliency of farmers in Nigeria. And I posed the question to ChatGPT, and it gave me series and series of responses. And then I put those responses together, spanning across climate, agriculture, partnership, capacity building, etc. So I put that nicely into one Word document, 1 page, 750 words document, and submitted to the global team. 2 months down the line, they flashed a scorecard, and 3 of us, myself inclusive, came out top 3 across Africa as the best proposal, right? And based on that fact, I will be traveling to one of the African countries to have a hands-on knowledge of or hands-on inspection of a sustainability and climate change project. So I give it to technology for supporting me with that write-up. I did it in less than 24 hours, just to the deadline, and I came out top 3. So thanks to technology.
Wow, wow. Beautiful one there. One up for technology. Thank you so much. TMOD, how many more minutes do I have? I've exhausted. Oh dear. Just when I was about to start enjoying the session. Thank you so much. And that'll be all. I'll tell you that I've learned a lot, and you'll be surprised at how much I've learned, apart from having fun as is typical of table topic sessions. Thank you so much for that opportunity. I'm back to you, Toastmaster of the day. Lady
Wow.
Toastmaster Eseoghene Okereka.
Wow, can we all put our hands together? That was an entertaining, awesome, exponential filled, delightful table topic session. Thank you so much, DTM Rashidat. I absolutely loved the questions and the responses. We really appreciate your handling of the table topic session. Well, no need to go away because we will now immediately segue into our manual speech session. In today's meeting, we'll be having 2 manual speeches, but I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I would like to invite the speech evaluator, Toastmaster Tari, to come and explain to us about the planned speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Tari.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day. And good evening again to those who have joined after the last time I spoke. So our first manual speech for today is going to be by Toastmaster Ijeoma Onwuegbule. Toastmaster Ijeoma, please let me know if you're on the call.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are great.
And let me know if you can see me.
I cannot see you right now.
Oh, okay.
No, I can't see you.
Can you see me?
Blank. Can anyone see her?
No, her camera is on, but it's her slider.
Yeah.
Maybe slide your camera if you're using a laptop. Like move the lens.
Can you see me?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
All right. So
let me confirm again. Can you see me as well?
No.
It's gone off again.
It's gone off again. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's on now. All right. So Toastmaster Ijeoma Onwuegbule will be talking about This Monster Again. That is her speech title, This Monster Again. She's on the Visionary Communication Pathway, and this is her second project in level 3. And the time for this speech is supposed to be 5 to 7 minutes. So in 5 to 7 minutes, Toastmaster Ijeoma would introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. So she's given us a speech quite all right, but we need to see how she leverages technology for that speech. And the purpose of the speech is for her to demonstrate her understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating technology into a speech. At the end of this, there will be an evaluation, and Toastmaster Ijeoma will know how well she did and what she may need to improve on. So without wasting much time, back to you, Toastmaster of the day, to call up Toastmaster Ijeoma.
Thank you, our evaluator, Toastmaster Tari. I would now like to call on the virtual lectern, Toastmaster Ijeoma. This monster again Toastmaster Ijeoma, over to you.
Before I start my speech, please, this is off record. I'd like to confirm if you can hear me and to correct my team to be the monster.
Okay, duly noted. And we can hear you.
And can see my
screen.
screen.
See what you're yes, but we're seeing the presenter view.
What does that mean? That means
okay,
you're not seeing.
We're seeing what you're seeing. We're seeing, we can already see the next slide. So if that's deliberate.
Oh my words, it's not deliberate. But pardon me. Okay. Pardon me, it is open expo. The speech starts now.
Okay.
Dear Toastmasters and guests, the monster. Yes. Coronavirus, COVID-19, the monster. It was Stephen King that said, monsters are real. And ghosts are also real. They live with us. They live inside of us, and sometimes they win. And you can agree with me that the monster, coronavirus, COVID-19, the monster became real. And he lived in the life of some people and consumed many. Some were much more luckier. They survived. And today, they embody the mass of people celebrated for having overcome the monster that lived inside of them. We go on the presentation to see what this monster was all about. They are real. They also sometimes try to show their face up again to say, I'm still here. But we had a duty to quench the monster forever. In a little tone discussed in some corners, in a hush-hush tone, low tone as we do in Africa and in some other clime, the news, the trauma happened on the world in late 2019. And many people have not survived this to today. Some are not even alive to talk about what happened. That was how the monster came in and lived in the life of people. And the world is still talking about it till tomorrow. The coronavirus, the monster, did not respect anyone. It spread across. We started hearing it on CNN. It came to the local news. And before you know what was happening, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was experiencing it, and fear engulfed all. And you saw people walking about as though they are humans, dressed in robes as though we are all monks. And slowly, but surely, the whole world, for the first time in my existence as an adult, the whole world went on holiday. Flights were canceled. People went into their rooms. Nobody wanted to come out. Nobody wanted to go to the market. The church took a holiday. And now came the dawn. Everybody discovered a new way of life and tried as hard as we could. The new way of life stared us in the face, but we are already captured by the new way of life. And me, for one, I am joining Pecten Toastmaster. We are far away from where I am in Port Harcourt, sitting right at my workplace, and I am joining this meeting, making my presentation. Before now, the remote work life was like a luxury. Before now, the online services were for the select few. But today, just as I'm demonstrating by this speech, it has come to live with us. And you know what? The challenge is nobody wants to go to that face-to-face life of having physical contact. It has come to save time. It has come to save energy. We have become very much accustomed to it. The global statistics, according to my source, WHO, as at 16th of March, 2023, it says that confirmed coronavirus as at the time it held sway up to date is 760,360,956 cases. And unfortunately, we lost a whooping a whooping number of 6,873,477 human beings. Families were bereaved. Some whole families perished. There is a good news. There were recoveries. There were recoveries in the tone of 753,487,479 people that recovered. Very swiftly, very quickly, the vaccine was introduced, and we have well over 13 billion doses already administered. And this statistics is from WHO and is as at 16th of March this year. The statistics continues across the nations. We had spread across the nations. According to WHO, in the European region, we had well over 274 million people that were confirmed to have been infected. Western Pacific had over 201 million people. The Americas had more than 190 million people. Southeast Asia had 60 million plus. Eastern Mediterranean had 23 million plus confirmations, and Africa. And you know, in Africa, this number is understated. Record capturing is not as apt as it is in other climes. That is the statistics we have. And drawing it back home to Nigeria, my update as of a Nigerian figure is at 21st of March, 2023. It says that we had 266,641 cases and that we had 3,115 deaths. And then the good news is that 259,938 people recovered. According to this record, my source is Worldometers as at 21st of March, 2023. Even most deadly issues of life have upsides. I am happy to say we came in contact with upsides of COVID. And what are the upsides? Families got together, reduced physical presence, less travel. We had lowered levels of pollutions. They had the impact of traveling on some people. Some get sick when they travel. Some have health issues that is not favorable to traveling. All of those things we are kept at bay. We had activated online life. You can't take online home working away from my colleagues and I. Most of my colleagues live outside Nigeria and they're contributing maximally because of the online life. We have schooling, just a table topic master through something about schooling, and then training, worship. Then it's brought about reduced crime, minimize living, enhanced community actions. People got together. Family bonding was tops during the time it held sway. I don't think we will get out completely of the positive upsides of COVID. Everything has two sides and then an angle. In risk management, we talk about the upside and the downside. And somebody said to me one day, and then the angle. So we have the upside of COVID, we have the downside of COVID, and the angle of it, somebody will tell me about someday. In concluding, COVID has something it has taught us. Every situation that comes up in life, there is a positive bit of it. So whatever situation it is you think is so bad, is it working late hours? You are developing strength that you never knew was there. The traffic, whatever challenge you come across on a day-to-day basis, look at the upside of it and take full advantage of the upside. Someone once said, and when he was in the traffic, every now and then, he used the opportunity to learn a new language. Put a language tutor in your car, put a language tutor in your phone. While the traffic is standstill, stampede, like nobody will move, continue with your language learning, for example. That's an upside, something you will not have had the opportunity to do. Mr. Toastmaster.
Please, thank you so much, Toastmaster Ijeoma. Can we all unmute or put our hands together for Toastmaster Ijeoma's wonderful presentation? I'm not hearing any clap. Can anyone hear me? Notes on
Yes, we
the
can hear.
chat box. What developed? Okay, excellent. You can share chat notes on the box. Share what did you love so much about this speech. Thank you, Toastmaster Ijeoma, for telling us about this monster and helping us see some of the wins we're able to get from this period. We appreciate your presentation, but I know your evaluator would have enough feedback to give you during the evaluation session. We'll now be moving on to our second speaker, still the same evaluator, so I would like to call back on the virtual lectern Toastmaster Tari to introduce our second speaker. Over to you, Ma.
All right, thank you again, Madam Toastmaster of the day. Our next speaker will be Toastmaster Henry Ojei, and he will be speaking on a speech which he has titled Decluttering Your Life. Just like Toastmaster Ijeoma, Toastmaster Henry Ojei is actually doing the same project, but this time his pathway is motivational strategies. And this is the second project in level 3. Time for this speech again is as shown on the screen, 5 to 7 minutes. Now, just remind us again that the purpose of this particular project is for Toastmaster Henry Ojei to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. And the purpose of his speech is for him to demonstrate his understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating technology into his speech. So at the end of this speech, we would like to see how much incorporation has he done, merging technology and merging what he has to say. So back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Essay, as you introduce Toastmaster Henry Ojei for Decluttering Your Life.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tari. Our next speaker is Toastmaster Henry Ojei. Toastmaster Henry Ojei, please confirm you're on the call.
Yeah, live and direct. Good evening, everyone.
Okay. Good evening, and I'm happy to introduce Decluttering Your Life. Decluttering Your Life, Toastmaster Henry Ojei. Over to you.
Okay, let me share my screen. If you can see my screen, you let me know. Oh, no, there's no way around. Oh. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up. Yes, we can.
I see a lot of interference.
But it's maybe just to put it on slideshow mode.
Okay, are we there now?
Not
can you
yet.
see the screen?
We can't see the screen, but to click on slideshow mode.
I've put it on slideshow.
Just re-click it again.
Oh. Okay, I'm removing it again.
No, just re-click the slideshow icon just under where you increase size.
I've done that again. Is it better?
Okay.
Huh?
Perhaps it's the
it's
network,
not sure.
but I think you
okay,
can,
maybe it's
go ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just
the
delayed.
network.
Okay, decluttering your life. The issue of decluttering is taking a global attention right now because so many people are exposed to a lot of choices of things to eat, things to buy, clothes, and everything. And the way these choices come, it makes it difficult for people to actually make a choice. And so you come to a house where people have clothes they've not used for the past 6 months, clothes they've not used for the past 6 months, clothes they've not used for the past 1 year. And then we're exposed to a lot of information. Information is also cluttering our mind. You open your handset, you wanted to check a message, you see a lot of things propping in, you veer from what you actually wanted to see. It's important that we declutter our life. And when we talk about decluttering our life, we are looking at We are looking at the aim is to get rid of excess in all areas of our life, both physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. When you declutter your space, you declutter your thoughts, your relationship, emotions, and daily routine, you increase the quality of your life. And when you declutter your environment, you increase, you're exposed to fewer distractions. And when your mind is decluttered, you have more clarity and focus. This is something we should be deliberate about. We should be intentional about decluttering. You see the picture I show at the beginning. I don't know if you people can see it. This is someone's house where there are clothes on top of the bed, on top of television, on top of everywhere. How many of us on this call have issues like this? Decluttering helps you to minimize the chaos in your life. It is said by research that anything you have not used in your house for the past 3 months, you have to give it up, give it out. If it's clothes, give it out. Shoes, give them out. You've not used them for the past 3 months. And how many of us here have clothes? How many of us here have shoes? How many of us here have electronic gadgets? How many of us here have kitchen utensils that we've not used for the past 1 year and they're still piling up there? I tell you a story. 2 weeks ago, I was in my home in Warri. I got there. For the past 3 months, their big Ghana must go, about 3 of them. My wife kept the clothes she's no longer using. Her sisters, her friends have come to take some, and these ones have been there for the past 3 months, the ones that they couldn't take. I told her, what's your plan for these things? She said she doesn't know what to do with them. On Saturday evening, I told my children, carry the 2 into my car. On Sunday, I took them to church. And it was announced in the church, after service, people were happy, taking what someone had dumped for years without using them. The good news is that when you declutter your life, most of those things, physical things you don't need, you give out, will bring joy to many. When we talk about decluttering, we are looking at the physical decluttering. In this area, you are talking about home, your home environment. You are talking about your office space. Mental decluttering talks about meditation, challenging yourself and identifying negative thoughts, thought patterns, limiting beliefs. There are a lot of negative thought patterns. There are a lot of limiting beliefs. There are a lot of regrets. We ruminate so much over things of the past without concentrating on the present. You need to declutter them. There are a lot of informations in our head. There are a lot of psychological noise in us that we really need to clear to make us enjoy the good quality of life that we are meant for. Emotional decluttering involves letting go of the past, getting rid of toxic relationships. There are relationships you don't need to keep. There are friends around you who are not adding value. You don't need to keep them. You need to be minimalist in your life. Minimize the things you do. Go for the essentials and learn to say no. It's not everything we grab. It's not everything we like to agree with. And in spiritual decluttering, you have to focus on higher purpose in life. Spending more time with nature. Go out in the evening, go to gardens, go to the field, go to waterfalls. Spend time with nature. They help you to refire and refocus yourself. Then I want to concentrate more on mental cluttering, because that is the major problem we are facing apart from physical cluttering in our homes. Apart from physical clutter, mental clutter is those stuff. They keep you stuck in self-sabotage. They make people to suffer, struggle, stress, self-separation. They make life hard, complicated. They're hidden in the eyes, where eyes can't see. Mental clutter lurks. Wherever peace and love don't. With mental clutter, your peace, your love, everything is affected. As long as you are cluttered, there is resisting the flow and the ease of life. We need to declutter our mind. We need to declutter our thinking. We need to filter the information that goes into us. It's no longer about information overload now. What matters is information filter. You are to choose what to hear. You are to choose things to read about. In your television, you are to choose what to watch in order to become sane and enjoy the full quality of life. There are 7 symptoms of mental clutter. So it's important we recognize them. Difficulty focusing. You can't focus well when you are cluttered mentally. You can't focus well when you are mentally cluttered. You have the person have racing thoughts, constantly thinking and overthinking thoughts, bouncing of ideas from one to another. These are signs. If these things are happening, you need to watch it. When you have difficulty prioritizing, the word priority came in 1840. It was meant to take one thing among the lot. But now we know about the word priorities. Priorities means that you now have to choose more than one. That is the new era we are. Priority is supposed to be that where you have 10 things, you choose one. That was the original intent of that English. But now we now talk about priorities on a page where you have to have many things you have to look at the same time. These are innovations that get us cluttered in our thoughts and choices in life. Of course, chronic stress is one of them. When stress becomes so much, you can't manage it. It's affecting your life, affecting your health, giving you headaches, causing you physical ailments, which we call psychosomatic disorders, disease of your mind affecting your body. Just as cluttered physical environment can as well affect your mind, which is somatopsychic as well. If you have these things happening, you have to watch it. Then you lack creativity when one is cluttered. Procrastination becomes one of the key things there. Of course, I talk about psychological noise. Psychological noise is a problem that many people have to deal with, and this interferes with your ability to process information or focus on a particular task because of psychological noise, because of what you are exposed to, information you're exposed to. Is becoming a major topic globally. How to deal with information management, information noise is even worse than physical noise around us. Then I give you 8 simple steps to declutter your life. The first step is to start small. Set small manageable goals. Tackle one task at a time. Then ask for help if you're overwhelmed. Look for friends, look for relations who can help you, family members who can help you. Then if you're so much psychologically attached to some of your things, try and take picture of them. If you have trouble disposing the clothes that your children use or the things you buy when you travel outside the country for holidays, which are known as maybe all those mementos in your life, during vacation and other books and all, take picture of them before you give them out. At one point in time, you have to look at that picture. It will give you some psychological satisfaction. Decide what to do with your unwanted items. Many people have unwanted things. They don't know what to do with them. First thing is to decide. The information you have on your phones that you don't need, decide what to do. Delete them. Delete them. You have to decide what to do with them. Then go through your digital space. Do something about your digital space. Concentrate on certain aspects. Don't be a jack of all trades. Then organize your workspace. It will also help you. Then create daily routine. Many people don't have daily routine. When they break, you live the life the way it comes. No, have a daily routine. Then evaluate your relationships. Which relationship do I have to keep? Which ones do I not have to keep? Finally, If cluttering is overwhelming you and you're experiencing anxiety and depression, look for a therapist who will help you. Thank you very much, Toastmasters and guests. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ojei, for that eye-opening presentation on decluttering your life. Thank you for those steps you've given us to declutter. I really like the one around starting small, and we appreciate. Well done, Toastmaster Ojei. I am sure your evaluator would have feedback to give you, but I have absolutely enjoyed that presentation. Thank you. We would now immediately be moving to the next part of today's session, which would be the evaluation part. Okay, so you can check, there are some love notes on the chat box to just read through commending your presentation. We would move to our evaluation session, and that will be handled by Toastmaster Essay. Toastmaster Essay is already on the call, so I would immediately start by calling on the role players. We would first start with evaluations. And the first evaluations we'll be speaking through is for the table topics. But I am just realizing that we did not vote, so apologies. But you can pick who was the better table topic speaker. The polls should be on your screen shortly. Please let me know once you can see it. Before we give that evaluation, we like to vote among all the people who spoke. We like to provide feedback, and then can anyone see the polls yet?
Not yet.
Okay, maybe it's my network.
Okay, it's on now.
Okay, so please vote. Just have a minute on the clock to vote. There are 10 people who should be able to vote, so I would stop once I say winner, because right now it's a tie. So please vote, 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 vote. Okay, I think we've gotten, let's see, 7 of 12, okay, 58%. We have 20 seconds left. We had Toastmaster Samuel, who told us about a gadget he regrets having. Toastmaster Victory, the idea of remote schooling. Toastmaster Ijeoma, what she would improve on smartphones. And Toastmaster Namdi, how technology helped contribute to his well-being. Okay, we've gotten up to more than half, so thank you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Can now end the poll. Thanks for the votes are in. I would now be providing, as part of my capacity as G, the evaluation for the table topic session. Our first speaker was Toastmaster Samuel, who spoke on one gadget you regret having and why. I love the fact, Toastmaster Samuel, that your video was on. You told a personal story, and then you also did something beautiful, which was illustrating with specific timestamps. So you said 100 level first semester, you helped us understand the path of when this happened, where you were, what phase in your life, and then what the item was, the PlayStation. I also liked your vocal variety and your facial gestures when you were like, second semester, when I checked my results. I thought that was very valuable. And you told us, I liked how you turned it back and said, oh, I bought a gadget that was not of value to me. You were able to still rephrase that and encourage us on knowing the kind of things we buy. So thank you for telling us a personal story. Thank you for using timestamps to help us successfully picture that memory. And thanks for showing you. My only feedback would be encouraging you to use the word of the day. And other than that, I loved your table topic. Well done. I forgot to time myself. Okay. Our next speaker was Toastmaster Victory. Toastmaster Victory, do you support the idea of remote schooling for secondary education? I love the fact that you replied in the affirmative. You immediately said, yes, I do support the idea. I also love the fact that your video was on. We're able to see your face. I loved that you gave reference points using something we could all relate to, which was the pandemic session. You talked about how it had changed the pattern of learning, and then you did something I really love today, which was you gave us 3 bullet points and you actually itemized them. One, it provided there was no other alternative during lockdown, so it was the best option. Two, the concerns around logistics and beating time rushing to work. Three, it meant that even if we had less teachers, a virtual audience means more students could learn with one teacher. You gave us those 3 points. I really loved that. I also loved your vulnerability you expressed in saying, oh, apologies, I tend to stutter, but you still gave us a very beautiful, and I really enjoyed your speech. Thank you for showing us your video, for speaking in the affirmative, and then giving us 3 points to justify why you support remote schooling for secondary education. Well done. My only feedback would be, other than using the word of the day, is whenever we give bullet points or we give tips, whether it's in table topic or any speech, we always recommend summarizing. So as you've listed these points, when you referring to your speech at the end of the day and saying, yes, so that is why I believe remote schooling is important, because it's the best alternative, it helps manage logistics, and most importantly, it expands the amount of students you can teach. So that would be my suggestion in terms of for subsequent speeches. But well done. I love remote living, so I am a huge fan like you. Our next speaker was guest Ijeoma. If you could improve anything about smart food, what would it be? You did something really beautiful, and what we always encourage everyone to do. You first thanked the audience. You thanked for the question, and then you rephrased the question and restated it. And that was a beautiful way of giving yourself time to answer the question. And then I like that you gave a personal story. You immediately knew what you were going to change. Like if you had superpowers, I think we'd probably all have, like you said, battery. And then you gave us in a very direct manner why. And even your cheerful demeanor, like, oh, I know all the times I have to keep charging. And then when the table topics master encouraged you to throw more lights, you did that. You were like, oh yes, because I know I use my phone a lot, and then I have to use it for hotspots and those connectivity issues sometimes when the phone can just go off. So thank you for telling us a personal story while using something, I think, a pain point that most of us can easily relate with. Well done. And I loved your demeanor. Thank you for thanking the audience. And I hope to see you participate in more table topic sessions. Our last speaker was Toastmaster Nnamdi, who gave an instance where technology contributed to his well-being. I love this fact of how you rephrase the question. You immediately started by telling us about your stance, that you've always loved technology, you're an early adopter of new forms of technology. And then I love the humor you infused when you said, oh, in the tech space, about your future investment, like the money comes like blood money, like ritualist money. I found that very funny. I also love that you provided that context on how you stumbled on a WhatsApp conversation ChatGPT. And then you even taught us that might be interested in learning how to use AI, that, oh, the hack is to ask it the same question 3 times. And then you gave a personal positive story on how it not only helped you in developing your proposal, but that's 1-page 750-word document has now helped you to be able to explore an opportunity of going abroad to see a sustainability project. So well done. And thank you for telling us a personal story. Thank you for telling us how we can win with technology and motivating us while teaching us how to use it. My only feedback would be in terms of there's also being aware of your audience that can be diverse. So when we just say, oh, like with ritualists and blood money, sometimes we also have to be sure that it's something that everyone would understand or easily gets when we're making those kind of jokes, or we maybe provide more context to it. But all in all, I absolutely loved your speech. Well done. So thank you. And that's where our 4 table topic speakers. I will now call on our speech evaluator, Toastmaster Tari, for our own version of evaluations. Over to you, Toastmaster Tari.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Esty. We want to get a glass of water. That was a whole lot. All right, thank you very much to the 2 speakers for the manual speeches, Toastmasters Ijeoma and Henry. I will now be giving your evaluation feedback on your speeches. I will start with Toastmaster Ijeoma, who spoke first. Toastmaster Ijeoma, I believe you're on the call. Please say yes if you are.
Yes,
can't give
I
an
am.
evaluation. Okay, in absentia, great. Okay, great. Toastmaster Ijeoma, it wants to be great to see your face though. Thank you so much for that speech. Thank you very much for bringing a topic that is relatable to everybody. Everybody here experienced COVID-19. everybody here knew the harms and the dangers and everything that was created by COVID-19, so we can all relate to the topic. That was great. That was great. Sometimes we have the temptation of, trying to sound or wanting to do a speech to make us look and sound a certain way, and then we don't connect with the audience. But a topic like COVID-19, I mean, there's nobody here who would say that COVID-19 hasn't made an impression on them, whether good or bad. So that was great. I loved your confidence. I love the fact that your camera was on. We could see you standing. You were serious. You were talking, using hand gestures, ensuring that you were communicating throughout the period you were speaking. And that was one of the things I loved about your speech. I loved that, of course, based on the project you're supposed to be doing, you use slides, you showed us slides. Thank you for putting that together. And I also love that you had good vocal clarity and your vocal projections were good. We could hear every word you spoke. You weren't, muted in any way. You knew what you were saying. You were saying with a lot of confidence, and that was great. Thank you so much for that. What would I have loved to see you do better or excel more at? First of all, the slides. This particular project has to do with using presentation, using slides. First of all, I think your slides should have been on viewer's view, right? Not just the presenter's view. You should have been and you should have done that way before you actually started, so that you do not take time out of your speech, which should have started immediately the lecture was handed over to you. So I feel like you should have had that sorted out. Ensure that your co-host had that sorted out even before you come up to give your speech. So that's one thing I noticed that I think you should have done better, right? The view. Then also in the course of presenting, I noticed that you kept going back and forth. So you talk about COVID numbers, and then you talk about something else, and then you come back to COVID numbers and you talk about something else. Now, we all know that for a speech to be great, you should have clear delineations. Many of us are guilty of, because we want to actually put everything into a speech, we don't clearly demarcate the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So sometimes it's difficult to say which is actually the body of the story, which is the introduction, and which is the conclusion, and that shouldn't be. And so when you have talked about the numbers, you should be talking about the numbers. If you have 3 slides on that, focus on those 3 slides, talk about the numbers, and be done with that, rather than going back and forth. And then for your first slide on the statistics, I noticed that you didn't even tell us your source, which is another thing. If you're importing information from somewhere, just so that it is not labeled plagiarism, you should tell us your source. Give credit to the source you got that information from. The second one says WHO, but the first one, we didn't know where that came from. And that's really important. So I think you could have done better with that. And I think also when you were talking about our club, I think you called us Pecten. I'm not sure what I heard, but it's actually Pecten Toastmaster. So another correction for you. And just 1 minute, let me just see another thing. So I noticed that your slides were also, and I'm talking about the slides more and more because that is actually the main aim of your project. The slides, I think, were too wordy, right? I think if you had shown us more pictures and spoken around the pictures, it would have made for better presentation. Audiences want to hear you speak. We don't want to spend time reading what you have written. You have written things quite all right, but we need to hear you speak. And that's one thing I think would have done better. All in all, I think you did a great job. Conclusion could have been stronger, right? Because you talked about being in traffic and having a language tutor. And I didn't quite connect that to the monster that is COVID. Well, so a stronger conclusion would have been, for instance, even though COVID was a monster, COVID has become a friendly monster because we have now learned to leverage on technology because we went through that period. So that ties to your story. But if you tell us something about language and when you're in the car in traffic, you put on a language tutor, I don't really connect it to the COVID that you're talking about. So that's another thing you may want to take note of. But in all, I love the fact that your camera was on. Like I said before, I loved your strong use of grammar. I love your vocal dexterity, your vocal clarity, which was strong. I love the fact that your hand gestures were on point. It wasn't overboard and it wasn't, non-existent. That was good. And I believe that if you incorporate the things I have said here today, the evaluation points I have made, especially the ones for improvements, if you incorporate them into your speech next time, you will have a mind-blowing and an outstanding speech. I don't know if I'm being time for this evaluation, but thank you once again, Ijeoma. We hope to see you more and more in our club, and we hope to see you give more speeches and get better at doing that. Thank you very much. The next person I will be evaluating is you're welcome. The next person I'll be evaluating will be Toastmaster Henry Ojei. Toastmaster Henry, thank you very much for that I'll call it a symposium on decluttering. It was really interesting to listen to. It was interesting to actually even look into my own life to see what I need to declutter, because I doubt there's anyone here who cannot relate to that. Another relatable message of decluttering. Thank you for your vocal clarity. Thank you that you use words that we could understand. Thank you that you went from the beginning to the end. We actually could follow you. It was quite engaging. And thank you for that. And you spoke exponentially about decluttering. Great. At the beginning, there were some issues with the slides. In fact, I think it was throughout the entire speech, you were showing, we had only one slide to look at. I don't know whether that was a mistake or that was done deliberately. It was just that first slide. Or maybe you didn't share the right slides. You didn't share the right slide pack you wanted to, maybe. But we had only that one slide to look at. And so initially what I wrote in my note was, great, he has only one slide and he's speaking about that one slide. But then I suspected that you may have had other slides when you started talking about the 7 symptoms of mental clutter. And I'm like, okay, so where are his slides on that? So I think you could have done better with that. If it was a mistake, then please, it shouldn't happen again. Slides on 7 symptoms of mental declutter, the 8 simple steps to declutter your life. I was really looking forward to seeing those things outlined on the slide, but we didn't quite get to see that. So if it's a technological issue, then it should be sorted even before you begin the presentation. Another thing I think you could have excelled at would be, of course, like I said before, use of more pictures. You also had an issue when you were standing and we couldn't see your head. So all we could do was hear you and see part of your body. But then again, you corrected that and then you sat down, and then we now could connect your face and your facial expressions to exactly what you were saying. But I want to thank you for bringing it. There was so much clarity from your introduction, which was strong, to your body of the message, which was all those 7 symptoms of mental clutter, 8 simple steps to declutter your life, what cluttering means. You even gave us a personal story to tie in with your speech, and that was great. Personal stories are always a great way to actually draw people in to what you're saying, and that was great. So to improve, first of all, sort out the technological issues before time. If it's network, try and get a better network service provider. If it was just technological issues that you didn't understand, somebody could easily help with that. Or better still, you share your slides with the Zoom master so that while you're speaking, they also do the presentation. They change the slides for you. I think that would have made it a bit better. And then I love that, of course, in summary, you ended with a charge, which was great. So we can all now go back and learn to declutter our lives and do the needful. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Ojei. Those are the 2 that I have. Back to you, Toastmaster Ese.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Terry, for that update. We appreciate your feedback, and I know our speakers too appreciate it. I look forward to seeing the exponential growth in our speakers as they continue to incorporate all the feedback in their future speeches. We'll now immediately be moving on to the evaluation from other role players. So yes, she does, Toastmaster Ekuchi. So I would like to call on Toastmaster Ekuchi for her evaluation report. Over to you, Toastmaster Ekuchi.
All right, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Please confirm that you can see me and hear me.
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
All right. So first, I'll start by saying, giving my apologies for not being in the meeting from the beginning. Today has been a very interesting day for technology, judging that we're talking about technology today, but it's well, we overcame eventually. So today, Toastmasters, so just confirm that I can give both evaluations at once. Okay, great. So today I'm playing the role of grammarian and our counter. So I'll be giving my evaluation from when I joined in the meeting. The word of today is exponential. Exponential. I love that a couple of us use the word, but I would have really loved that more people use the word. From when I joined in, the Table Topics Master used the word twice. Essay used the word 3 times, and I used the word twice in the chat box. As regards proper and improper use of grammar, someone said stumbled into, I think it should have been stumbled on. Someone said sabotage, it should be sabotage. Try my hand, test my hands, it should be try my hands. I love that someone said juxtapose, that's a good word to use. Resiliency should be resilience. Segue is a good word to use, someone used that as well. Leverages is also good grammar. In concluding should be in conclusion. Clarity should be clarity. All in all, I think today we've done well with grammar. We should just practice more with these words, especially the word of the day, which is exponential. It can be used in a couple of ways throughout our sentences and our interactions. For the accounting report, we did so well today with our adds and our pause fillers. We have one person though that really thrilled us with the use of pause fillers, and that was Toastmaster Namdi. He had 4 ums, 2 ms, 3 so's, 2 ands. But all in all, I didn't even take too much because I was enjoying his speech too much. But all in all, it was good as regards accounting. Finally, I'll just say just to test our listening skills, I'll just give 2 sentences and you tell me who said them. Table topic segment is meant for beautiful women and handsome men. Who said that?
BTM Rashida.
Absolutely, that's correct. Decluttering your life improves your mental health. This is an easy one.
That's Mr. Henry.
Great. Thank you so much. Looking forward to the next meeting and our great performance. Back to you, Madam G.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy, for that evaluation. I would now be giving, before my general evaluation, the timing report. For our table topic session, Toastmaster Samuel used 1 minute 33 seconds. Toastmaster Victory used 1 minute 59 seconds. Guest Ijeoma used 44 seconds. Toastmaster Nnamdi used 2 minutes 11 seconds. For the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Ijeoma used 8 minutes 58 seconds. Toastmaster Henry used 11 minutes 22 seconds. Toastmaster Essay for her table topic evaluation used 4 minutes 46 seconds. Toastmaster Tari for the first speech evaluation used 6 minutes 11 seconds. For the second speech evaluation, 2 minutes 54 seconds. For the grammarian report, Toastmaster Joy used 1 minute 29 seconds. For the accountant report, Toastmaster Joy used 58 seconds. And for the timer report, Toastmaster Essay has used 54 seconds. So that's the timing report. Then on to the general evaluation. I want to commend everyone who participated in today's session. Most importantly, DTM Rashidat for the table topic session. I really love that the questions suited the theme of today's meeting, which was digital wellness. I also loved something she did, which was to encourage our guest Ijeoma to even provide more insight into her table topic response. I thought that was a very beautiful way of making guests feel comfortable, and we'd encourage that we incorporate that going forward. Thank you also to all our table topic speakers today. I loved listening to Victory and then Toastmaster Samuel and Ijeoma and Nnamdi. I would also like to commend our manual speech speakers, Toastmaster Ijeoma and Toastmaster Henry. My key feedback for you would be in terms of managing time. And in addition, for a project that is based around presentation software, it's always encouraged that likely an hour, some minutes before the meeting, or even a day before the meeting, we just confirm that we understand the way our presentation will look in whatever platform we're using. So it's always encouraged that if you're going to have to present something somewhere, just test how it looks. If it means joining on 2 devices, so you're able to see what other people see when you share a certain way, that would really help in ensuring you present an exponential kind of speech. In addition, for our table topics, I would encourage everyone to follow the habit of guest Ijeoma, which is always learning to thank the audience and also greeting the audience whenever we have to speak anywhere. In addition, I'd like we also learn to summarize whatever our points are while we give our speech. For the role players, I'd like to commend the evaluator, Toastmaster Tari, the accountant, grammarian, Toastmaster, Ekuchi, and the Toastmaster of the day /GE/timer /Toastmaster, Toastmaster essay. However, I'd like to really give that feedback that we do need to, the idea of Toastmasters remains service and leadership. So it would be encouraged that we have more people play multiple roles. There were 13 people on this call, so it would have still helped if maybe we try to ensure that it spread more across than everything being on one person's hand or 3 people's hands. So that's feedback for the VP that I'm sure will be taken into consideration. All in all, this has been a fun meeting. I have really loved listening to how to declutter my mind, and also about this monster that I really pray doesn't come back again. I've also liked hearing about the case for remote working, and maybe hoping that someone makes enough money, like blood money, so maybe Pecten would have a corporate sponsor. This has been a very fun meeting. I know that we would keep seeing exponential growth in subsequent meetings and for the Pecten family as a whole. And that would be my general evaluation for today's session. Thank you. And I loved that the meeting was on time. Yes, I have to give that feedback. So thank you. That is my general evaluation report. Back to you, Toastmaster essay, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, everyone. It is officially I had said at the beginning of the meeting that an average Toastmaster meeting has the table topic session, which we brilliantly have explored with Ijeoma and Namdi, Victory, and Samuel through the fun questions asked by DTM Rashidat. And then we had our manual speeches. We got to learn about the monster from Toastmaster Ijeoma, and we also got tips on decluttering our minds, both our spiritual and mental mind, from Toastmaster Henry. And then we got evaluations from Toastmaster Joy and Toastmaster Tari that we hope everyone incorporates. This has been a very fun meeting and officially the end of my service as Toastmaster of the day. I would now hand over to the club president, Toastmaster Tari, to handle the rest of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Tari.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Essay. I mean, you really need to clap for yourself because you have done a lot. Please, can we unmute and put our hands together for her and for all the other role players who have so graciously handled their beats perfectly. Am I the only person clapping? Can we unmute and please put our hands together for them? Amazing. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Essay, for stepping into this role, albeit at the last minute, to be the Toastmaster of the day. Okay. All right, I see your message. Thank you very much. You did an excellent job navigating this ship, and we have successfully come to the end of today's meeting. I want to thank everyone who made our time to come here today. Those who are members of Pecten, Toastmasters Club, those who are members of Toastmasters International, and then also our guests. I see a few guests here. Toastmaster Ijeoma, it was great to have you. Thank you for also contributing to the table topics. I see Ayanate, I see Victory, Ojei. Everyone who is coming here for the first time, you're very welcome to Pecten Toastmasters Club. Thank you for being here. Our next meeting will be on the 18th of April, which is 2 weeks from today. We meet on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesdays of every month. So next one will be on the 18th of April. And we hope that we see you all again, your numbers. And please do invite somebody else who wants to join Toastmasters or who is interested in improving themselves in public speaking or communication or leadership. I'm sure they will learn one thing here when they join. Thank you very much for coming. 18th of April is a date, keep to that. Digital wellness is a conversation that really shouldn't end with this meeting. We are all on our devices right now. So yes, but everybody's involved here. So please try and declutter mentally and otherwise when you go home. Some of us really need to shut down our devices and actually go to sleep today and don't even look at your phones again. Some of us really need to actually take a step back from technology, right? Really take a break from technology and actually rediscover ourselves. It's really important. So you see, everything ties together: technology, digital wellness, decluttering. It all goes in the ball. And I've really taken quite a few notes here today, and I'm sure that I will be improving my life based on the notes I've taken here today. I don't know if there's any other announcements. We haven't yet. I haven't seen any date yet for the next phase of competitions. We want to thank Toastmaster Essay. Was that that happened after our last meeting, I think, the contest. Toastmaster was after the last meeting, yes. Toastmaster Essay, Toastmaster Joy, thank you so much for representing Pecten in those competitions, international, the table topics competition, and the, what was the other one now? Table topics and essay, remind me.
International speech contest.
International speech contest. Table topics was one. Well, they both came out good, let me put it that way. But essay won in the table topics competition, and Toastmaster Joy got third place in the international speech contest. It is never an easy task to actually volunteer to do these things. So I want to appreciate you as a club for stepping up to the plate on this one. Thank you very much for everything. I'd like to end here. It's 5:45 p.m. Yeah, sorry?
Table topics winner.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Table topics winner. Pardon me. Let me check again the message you sent. No, that's not it. All right. So our table topics for today was won by none other but Toastmaster Nnamdi. Can we please put that together? Look, Madam Nnamdi, I'm looking forward to the time when we'll have gifts for those that win table topics. We'll get there one day. Toastmaster Nnamdi, well done. We'd like to see you more often in meetings. Thank you for coming today. And of course, the prize is yours, whatever you think it may be. Thank you very much, everyone. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. And we shall see again on the 18th of April, 2023. All right. Do we have tongue twisters? Is there any tongue twister, Essay? Okay, so someone should volunteer to please do a tongue twister for us. Who is volunteering? Toastmaster Amara. Can you read this fast like 5 times?
Okay, let me try. 11 benevolent elephants, 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 11 benevolent elephants.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. Thank you very much. Well done. The tongue twister, 11 benevolent elephants. The more we do these things, the more we say them, the clearer, whether you believe it or not, the clearer our speeches get, our vocabulary gets, the wider vocabulary gets, and the clearer the way we speak is. So thank you, everyone. See you in another 2 weeks. Bye.
Thank you, Ma. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Well done, Essie.
Bye.
Rashida, thank you so much.
Rashida, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congrats, Nnamdi.
Thank you to everyone that played a role.
Thank you, TMSC. Bye.
All right.
Well
Bye.
done on your speech. Bye.